A couple of years ago, I joined many church leaders in digesting and discussing a book by Todd Bolsinger called Canoeing the Mountains, Christian Leadership in Uncharted Territory. The author reminds us that when Lewis and Clark formed their Corps of Discovery in 1804, they prepared to canoe up rivers to a high point in the middle of the country so they could canoe down the waters to wherever they flowed. My sensing the church is being reformed now more drastically than 500 years ago, growing up near Locust Grove in Louisville and living near the Missouri River all made the book irresistible to me. Their knowledge, training, and skills brought the Corps of Discovery all the way to the Rocky Mountains, which seemed to have no end and definitely had no river to float straight westward. You can't canoe the northern Rockies very effectively. The Corps learned from various native tribes how to move into uncharted territory in ways for which they were not trained or prepared. They traded in their canoes for mountain supplies and gear. As Lewis and Clark continued a journey they would not have survived without the experts they heeded and invited to go with them. In his book, Todd Bolsinger, a pastor and church consultant, uses the metaphor of canoeing the mountains to speak about church leadership in the uncharted territory of our day and the challenges for which we are not prepared. What pastors learned in seminary and many of the skills in ministry they had acquired along the way are insufficient for the changes and challenges in leading a church in 2018. What worked in canoeing the church rivers of the last 50 years is not helpful in moving through the mountains we face. And his long list of changes and challenges in the church and society was 2 years before COVID-19. The motto of the Presbyterian Church is the church reformed, always being reformed, Ecclesia reformata semper reformanda, according to the Word of God. The living God is always leading fallible people into a new future as we learn from the past. I was taught by John Leith that tradition is the living faith of dead people, but traditionalism is the dead faith of living people. It seems to me in our society, schools, health, economy, government, and racial relationships, we are facing higher and more rugged mountains than we dreamed of or prepared for even 9 months ago. And our canoes that got us here won't get us to where we need to go. We face a mountain chain of challenges, but we do not face them alone. We can heed or ignore the wisdom of the natives who know the mountains. We can say we've always done it that way as we canoe the mountains, or as we say, new occasions teach new duties as we evolve. What skills and learning have you had that allow you to canoe the waters until now? How are you still trying to canoe the mountains today? What leadership do you need to receive? And what leadership do you need to give to move forward in becoming disciples, making a difference?